Many American and Canadian port cities were overwhelmed with the enormous numbers of newly arrived immigrants, many of them sick, dying, or destitute. In 1840, the population of New York was 313,000. In 1855, the population of New York was 613,000. Harlem was still a quiet country town, but the city was expanding rapidly. The strain on the city was severe. One estimate put the number of paupers in the city at 113,000 in 1851, around 20% of the population. Fear of a typhus outbreak, as had happened in Canada, was never far away. From 1846, all vessels entering the port had to anchor at a quarantine ground in the bay off Staten Island and await inspection. The dead were taken from the ships and buried in coffins 3 deep in a 9-foot trench, which leaked into the bay in wet weather. Immigrants paid a hospital fee of $1.50 each, which meant that they were entitled to free hospital care for up to a year. Another hazard for immigrants and residents alike were the racketeering runners, similar to those in Liverpool. One quarantine doctor said it was not uncommon for 8 or 10 boatloads of runners to surround a ship. They are desperate men and can be kept off only by armed force. The runners later even ran ferry boats to bring immigrants from quarantine into New York City, giving them ample time to fleece the passengers en route and hand them over to co-conspirators at the dockside. By 1850, American steamships using propellers started to ply the Liverpool route. They were designed to carry passengers rather than cargo. They had separate berths for men and women, 3 cooked meals a day, and were safer than sailing vessels or the old paddle steamers, and they cut the journey time by half. A few years later, Castle Garden in New York's Battery opened as an immigrant reception centre, and all immigrants were landed there directly from their ships. These improvements marked a sea change for the city, for the United States, and for transatlantic immigration. Castle Garden was run by an immigration service to process each individual, provide them with health checks, hot washing facilities including soap and towels, kitchen facilities, and food to buy. They could buy tickets for onward travel, genuine tickets at normal prices. It kept out the ruthless runners whose activities now declined sharply. Castle Garden operated until it was replaced by Ellis Island in 1892. It brought to a close the most intense and desperate era of 19th century immigration to the United States.